why should politics invest much more money into anti-aging research?
Sure. I mean, the answer here for me is, why politics should invest more money in this is if a government or, if any government is not supposed to serve its people as far as, life, happiness, the pursuit of happiness, health, why are you even part of a country in the first place? Like that's basically supposed to be the social contract, right? It's, we pay our taxes, we become part of this organizing collective so that, we protect each other, we lift each other up through, social safety net programs or healthcare. Your life shouldn't be ruined because of one bit of bad luck or, you happen to roll the bad genetic lottery. So I think everyone does sort of understand that there is a sense of fairness to that everyone should be able to have a life that is worth living, and that's what a government should be there for. So then if you dig into governmental funding on healthcare, you see that a lot of times the way the money is currently spent doesn't serve that goal, and then sometimes in weird ways can serve against the goal. Like sometimes there could be a problem of like over medication and over diagnosis for that make you lose all your money and alter your lifestyle and actually lower your quality of life. So I think it's really easy to say, hey, we should not be doing that. We can allocate these same resources to making you prevent these diseases from ever happening in the first place, and lengthening your quality of life years, right? Your quality. And I think that's the thing that everyone could totally understand. No one wants to be sitting in a dialysis machine for an extra 5 years, not able to feed or bathe themselves. But if it's very clear that the value proposition is that any additional time that would happen from this better allocation of healthcare spending is going to be time that you can spend with your family doing the things that you love, I don't think any reasonable person, if presented with that data in the right way, in a clear way, would say no to that value proposition or no to the, you know, idea that that's the kind of thing that a government should be fostering for its people.
So if we would invest much of money into it, what guess how quickly would we see a return? How quickly would we benefit?
I mean, that's a kind of question that's very hard to speculate on. Obviously you have typical trials that could take, 5 to 10 years or longer, depending, especially if it's a longevity trial where you're seeing if the marker is how long someone lives, uh, then you're looking at a very long trial. But here is where also I think some of this funding should go to really building up a robust and sophisticated and accurate library of biomarkers for aging, and really systemize and formalize that. Because then you can start to have a little bit more of a reasonable, less guessing conversation of how long would it take for this therapy to help us or not, when to cut the cord if it's not helping. Uh, and I think everyone sort of knows that, but it's still a lack in the field of really getting rigorous, comprehensive biomarkers.
And then could you say that like if the government would invest like I don't know 40 billion per year of the government, that you would see like reduction in costs like after 5 years or so, and healthcare costs as well to give us some estimates.
I don't want to say any specific numbers, but what I would say is that if there was a real, like, if governments really got serious about this, and it wasn't just throwing money at different random treatments, but there was an ideology behind it of, better preventative health care. I think that also, one of the largest impacts on your longevity is just simple lifestyle stuff, sleep, work-life ratio, how stressed you are, this very obvious thing. So I think if that became part of the war on aging or whatever the government thrust was, you could see some real impacts like immediately if that became woven into the fabric of life, of these changes that make it easier for someone to maintain a better lifestyle for longevity.
But for example, if the Senolytics were I started much as if it works, then we would see something.
Yes.
But
Yeah, so I 100% agree with that. Again, the reason why I don't want to put any numbers on it is I'm not sure what the translation would be from mice to human as far as what the effect is in years and specifically, but that's another good example of a sort of a pun, given what I'm about to say, low-hanging fruit, something like fisetin and strawberries. Um, there's a lot of things out there now, senolytics, that have a very high safety profile, are found, naturally and things like strawberries that, it wouldn't be that hard once the data on humans is more conclusive to build that into a, regimen that should be cheap that everyone should be able to do. And I think you would see non-negligible effects very quickly once that is known. So I hesitate to put on a specific percentage or anything like that because we don't know yet how the lifespan gains will translate from smaller other model organisms to humans. But that's something I'm personally, like everybody here, I'm sure, excited about is senolytics could be something that's very near term, very feasible. And also one thing that I like about it, given that Leaf and Lifespan.io is working in, the social sphere of, interacting with the people and trying to catalyze a social movement is it's something that's very easy to understand. It has a lot of kind of funny hooks to describe it, the zombie cells in the body, and these are the zombie killers and all that stuff. And it makes it kind of fun and engaging. And it's something that I think because it's, natural, found in strawberries, it's something that people would, it's not invasive. It's just, maybe you take this fisetin loaded capsule like twice a year or something like that, depending on how the dosing and cycling works. But I basically think the value proposition is very clear there. It's like, doesn't cost you probably much money, doesn't cost you much risk, doesn't cost you much effort. Maybe a couple of times a year, once a quarter, you take a course of it. And if it's going to, give you a 10% increase in your lifespan, I think that's the kind of thing where you sort of softly usher everybody into the movement. It's not like you have to go get these intensive, invasive surgeries. It's just like, yeah, you take your vitamins, right? And, let's be honest, unless you're deficient, regular vitamins don't really do much anyway. Why don't you take this vitamin that actually does something? That's pretty easy, right? I think that's a sell that can be made to the public. And then simultaneously make people more aware that remediating aging is a thing and it's possible and it's now. So that's why I'm excited. I'm excited about senolytics for many reasons, but that's one of them.